Hello students, in the previous video I described about the distance time graph and we can get the different shapes of the graph. Now in this video I am going to describe the velocity time graph, and the variation in velocity with time of an object moving in a straight line will represent by the graph that is called velocity time graph. The shape of the graph will express the nature of the motion of the object. In velocity time graph, the time is represented along the x-axis and the velocity is represented along the y-axis. Now we take an example of the velocity time graph. The time and respective velocity is mentioned in this table, and we are now going to do the practice on the graph paper. So just I have taken here the time axis as x-axis and velocity as y-axis. Now choose appropriate scale and put the values here: 0, then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. Here the velocity is taken 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. Now for this graph, with the passage of time, the velocity of the body remains as 10 meter per second always. It means it is constant. So the point will be here. First is at the axis y-axis at 10, then at the here after 10 second, then 20th second, then 30th second, 40th second, 50th second, and 60th second. As the velocity remains same, so all these points on this line only. Now join all these points and then we get the shape of the graph. So now you see that the shape of this velocity time graph is a straight line and parallel to the time axis. This shows the uniform velocity. Uniform velocity. So what is our conclusion? The velocity time graph for this case is a straight line and parallel to the time axis. This shows that the motion of the object is uniform velocity, right? Take another example. Now velocity time graph is shown in this second case with the velocity of the object is as here with respect to the respective times. Okay, now we are going to plot the graph on the basis of this velocity timetable. So in second figure we are taking here the time is 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Time is taken here. This is origin 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, etc. And this is the x-axis. This is the x-axis. This is y-axis. And distance is mentioned here. Sorry, velocity is mentioned here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, etc. So for 0, the velocity is 0. So first point is at the origin. Second is after 10 seconds, the velocity is 5. So this point is here. After 20th second, the velocity is 10. So it will be here. After 30th second, the velocity is 15. So the graph will be here. then after 40 seconds the velocity is 20. Similarly, after 40 seconds the velocity is 20, so 50 seconds the velocity is 25. Now join all these points and then we get the shape of the graph is a straight line, and this is the shape of the graph which is a straight line and there is a slope. So what is our conclusion? That this is the not the uniform velocity, this is the uniform acceleration. So this is the case of uniformly accelerated motion, uniform acceleration, uniform acceleration. So we conclude here that the slope of BT graph for this data is a straight line and straight line with slope with respect to the time axis. Straight line and slope, there is slope with respect to the time axis. This shows the uniform acceleration of the object. Okay, now take another example. Here the velocity time table is given 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 seconds. These are the time, and respective velocities 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. So now we are going to plot here. First we choose the appropriate scale. So locate the points here on x-axis, that is as time 10, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. Now here you locate, this is the maximum value is 36, so we can take here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, then 40. Okay, data whatever the value is given, accordingly we plot the graph. Okay, now first is at the zeroth the velocity is 0, then after 10 velocity is 1, so just this one is the first point just above the time axis. Okay, then after 20th velocity is 4, so this is the 4 here. Okay, next is after 30 second velocity is 9, so 9 is this point just below, no sorry, this is 1 is here, this is how much, 4, so 4 is, now we are taking the double, 1 2 3 4, 4 will be here, not there, this is wrong. Okay, so after 30 second the velocity is 9, 9 will be below to the 10, here it is this, as the interval is of in velocity is 5 is meter per second is 1 unit, so we have to decide the position of the points. 40 second it is 16, 16 will be 15 and just 2 points above 15, this is 16. Okay, then 50th second it is 25, 25 is here. Okay, 25, then after 60 second it is 36, so 36, this is 30, this is 35, 36 is here. Now we join all these points and we get the shape of the graph. So dear students, after joining these graph points, we obtained the shape of the graph is a curved line. This indicates that the motion of the object is non-uniform acceleration. So we conclude here that if the graph is a graph for non-uniform motion is if VT graph is a curved line, this shows that the object has non uniform acceleration. So we have the three graphs. One graph is uniform velocity, second is uniform acceleration, and third one is non-uniform acceleration. Okay, so do the practice accordingly. You also. Thank you.